Hi Sagittarius, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol. And Sagittarius, this is going to be a September 2024 general reading for you. So before I do my reading for you, I have to tell you this really short story about the significance of the neon green dragonfly that you might have seen when you clicked on my video. And this was a picture that was sent to me from my daughter about 2 weeks ago. I looked at it and we exchanged a few words on it, and I'll get to those words in a minute, but I put it away and it was like, for some reason, it was like, I'm not looking at this. And I know better, and I think she knows that she sent it to me for a reason, because she knows that I'm interested in spiritual animals, and in particular ones that are kind of random and odd and show up out of nowhere. And I mean, I think you'll agree with me that this is an incredible picture. And so, my ego self would have said to me, it means nothing. It's meant for her. She's the one that spotted it. But the thing is here, she sent it to me. And I'm sure I was probably the only person she sent it to, because she knew I would have been interested in it. And so when I sat down to think about a reading for you the other night, the picture of that neon green dragonfly came to me, and I'm like, okay, that was the intuitive nudge that I got. I need to look at this picture again. And so I looked up, the first thing I did was I looked up our conversation that my daughter and I had on Messenger. The first thing she said to me was, look at this guy, I spotted him. And when I looked up the significance of the dragonfly as a spiritual animal, actually, what I did was I looked at the story of the dragonfly, and what it takes for them to get here on this earth, and before we can actually see them. And so they have this incredible metamorphosis, this incredible transformation of going from this water-dwelling nymph insect to this adult flying thing that we see around. And as an adult, they only last about 1 to 2 weeks typically, but they can last up to 6 to 8 weeks. So the fact that she spotted him was incredible. I have never seen a neon green dragonfly. And when you look at this picture, I mean, it looks fake. And that was my reaction. It looked fake. And I said, touch it. And because I thought it was like a kid that had stuck it to, a post or something. And to be honest with you, that was my belief. And it almost still is, because it looks so real. I mean, so fake. So much of it has, these pearly eyes, and the wings have like almost like this, it looks like it's gold plated or something. And the fact that it's neon green, I had to look up, Googled if there's such a thing as a neon green dragonfly. I mean, it's like this illusion. It looks fake, but it's real. And then when I asked her to touch it, her response was, ooh, no. And that was huge significance for me, because what is it about ourselves that we believe to be true, but it's a real illusion, because underneath it all, it's fake. And we're afraid to look at it, to dig it out and look at it and see, what is it about this that is not real? And so there was my reading for you. I was going to do a reading, and I'm going to call it Moving Beyond the Illusion. So the first thing I want to look at in your reading is, what false idea or belief about yourself that you need to become aware of. And you might not even know, because sometimes it has that, ooh, I don't want to look at it. Because, we walk around with masks and we believe that this is who we are. But when we start to dig at it, it's not really who we are. It's something usually that people told us about ourselves, and we've grown up to believe this is who we are. And so in the second part of the reading, I'm going to do some shadow work. And so I'm going to look at what shadow aspect is driving or impacting this illusion that you have about yourself. So it's going to dig up something from childhood that probably, you've learned about yourself and you continue to believe it. And so if you're not familiar with those two terms, shadow or shadow work, I'm going to leave a really good video that I've done on my other channel called Carol Cares. And it's called My Powerful 4-Step to Shadow Work. And it's all about facing your own shadow. And I really walk you through how I have faced and continue to face my own shadow intensively so I can heal my own childhood trauma. And then in the last part of the reading, I'm going to look at, how can you begin to heal this shadow aspect that's coming up for you so that you can move beyond this illusion and heal yourself. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. When I sat down and put together this reading, I said, well, you know what? This has something for me. She sent it to me 2 weeks ago. And so what I did was I had to look at, in the last 2 weeks, how have I been healing, or what do I need to look at that, what illusion of myself do I need to move beyond for personal growth? Because the color green is all about personal growth and healing and transformation. And sure enough, that's what I've been doing. And so I know that this had a lot to do with me and my own healing journey, of course. It always does when I do these readings. And so I hope that this has a lot to do with you, and you let me know below if you resonate with the reading that I'm going to do for you right now. So in your reading today, Sagittarius, I'm going to be using the Animal Guides Tarot to pick out my 3 cards. And then I'm going to clarify those 3 cards with the Rider-Waite. And at the end, I'm going to pick a spirit animal oracle for you. So I'm really trying to keep with the animal spirit theme here. And so far, so good. It's working out. So let's begin with our Animal Guides Tarot. And I just want to let you know that my personal readings are still discounted right now, 10%. And I've extended that discount until September 15th. And so if you're interested in that, there's a link in my description box below and also in my comments section for you. And if you go to that link there, it leads you to my website, and it's going to be, there's about 6 readings there. And the last reading I just added is the reading we're doing today, Moving Beyond Illusion. And there are 5 others that you've seen on my channel if you've been following me. We're a young channel here, so I've put out 5 other readings that I've done throughout already, and the discount will be there, as well as a description of the readings. So if you want to take advantage of that, that'd be great. All right, so let's ask the tarot right now for 1 card for what false belief or idea or illusion does Sagittarius have for themselves? 1 card, please, for that. These are a little bit more difficult to shuffle because they're big, but they do come out. 6 of Pentacles for you. The 6 of Pentacles, and you got the kiwi, the 6 of Pentacles. I like to read off the animals in case you can, if any of these are your spirit animal or not. And, oh, it's coming out. I'm going to put that back. What shadow aspect is driving or impacting this illusion right here that you have? 1 card, please. Just want 1 card. Have to be so careful or else they'll all fly out. Try this again. Oh, here, 1 fell out. I'll take the top one. Take the top one. The peacock. Release. Release. And finally, how can I begin to heal the shadow aspect in order for me to heal beyond this illusion of myself? So how can you heal this? 1 card, please. Here we go. The awakening. the awakening. That is the Hangman card. I had to think about, yep, that's the Hangman card, the awakening. And you got the giraffe for that. You got the giraffe. Now, I didn't talk about the release card. That's number 13. That's the death card. Yeah. So there's a few of these that have different names on them. Okay, so let's start to clarify this. Can you tell me some more about the Six of Earth, please? 2 to 3 cards to clarify. Being very stubborn. The Six of Earth. Oh, here we go. I called it stubborn and I got angry. I think I'm going to try to pull one more here. So I can... Okay. All right, so... For your Six of Pentacles, you got the Strength card in reverse, the Ten of Cups, the King of Wands, and the High Priestess in reverse. Tell me more about this Death card right here, release. 2 to 3 cards, please. This is really having a hard time. There's 1, there's 2. And 1 more, please. There we go. Okay, the Empress in reverse, the Chariot, and the Page of Swords in reverse. And the giraffe. 2 to 3 cards, please. We need to make up for lost time. I think I did. I have the... Oh, yeah, I have 3. 10 of Swords in reverse. I thought it was 3. The Knight of Swords in reverse. And the Tower. The Tower. There's your last card in there. Okay, so before we begin... I pulled your overall energy for this reading right here. And what I did was I went into your yearly reading that I did for you, Sagittarius. It's linked in my, they're in my description box. And I pulled 12 cards in that reading in January. And 1 for each month. And... your card was the 5 of Wands, so that's your overriding energy for this reading. Now, the 5 of Wands, just looking to see if it came up here. The 5 of Wands is a conflict card. 5s are conflict. And Wand energy talks about these individuals that are comparing their batons. They're not fighting so much so physically, but they're comparing their batons. Mine's bigger than yours. Mine's heavier, and I'm gonna win this, and so it really is a conflict of the ego here. It's also a card of feeling unworthy, and it's very much like comparing yourself to other people. Maybe you're going on scrolling on social media. That's all you need to do, is just to go on social media, and you can feel like crap if you want after, when you get off, because you're always comparing yourself all the time to other people on there. That's what I found about it anyway. But so that's your overriding energy of where you're sitting this month, of feeling unworthy and maybe comparing yourself to other people. But we're going to see how it plays out in these cards right here. So let's start off with what false belief or false idea that you have about yourself. What illusion do you have about yourself? Well, you start off with the Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles, sixes in my deck, talk about, have a duality to them, which means, on one, you look at it and it looks like it means this, but there's actually the other side that it's actually portraying. So the Six of Pentacles talks about this individual. If I'm thinking of the Rider-Waite deck, for example, it'll have this individual that's weighing out these coins to these two beggars. And it's about, it's a card about giving and receiving, or receiving and giving. And it also it talks about a lot about, it's another card of unworthiness. So you have two cards here. It talks about, if you feel that you're worth 3 coins as a beggar, then you're going to get 3 coins from this person that's, doling out this money or these coins. If you said you're worth 6, then this person would give you 6. And it's kind of like, if that's the energy that you're putting out into the world about yourself, that's the kind of people that your energy will attract into your space. And it's so true. And so this unworthiness is coming up again. And, we had it as the overriding energy of comparing yourself to other people. And so where does this unworthiness come from? Because that's the illusion, that's the false belief that you have about yourself. And let's clarify this. We're not going to look at where it comes from yet, but we're going to look at, how it's playing out with you and some clarifiers for this. You get the Strength card in reverse. And the Strength card is a card that comes out when it tells you that not so much you have a strength like to go on or the strength to do something, but it does mean you have the strength to go inwards. It's a card it's a major arcana universal force that's coming from the universe, is saying, you know what? You have the strength to go inwards, in our body, reconnecting with our body, going in our body here, because that's where our emotions are. That's where your unworthiness is. Unworthiness is connected to the emotion of shame. We all have shame, and shame is coming up. I can't tell you how much it's coming up in all my readings. And this card comes out to say, you have the capability and the strength to go inwards into your body, to reconnect to this feeling of shame, to find out where it comes from, but it's blocked here. It's not maybe so much blocked, but there's a big resistance on your part to going in, because we're scared. We're petrified of these emotions that we need to feel in order to heal. And so the next card that comes out, it says, you have the strength. And not only do you have the strength, but you have this 10 of Cups that's coming out. 10 of Cups is this full range of emotions, right? It's number 10. It's a completion of the cups, the suit of cups. And it tells us that we have the capability and the strength to feel this whole range of emotions that are available to us because we're human. But we just, these are big, big emotions that we would have had as a child that we couldn't face. And so we store them in our body and they start surfacing for us. And this is what this unworthiness is coming up for you. We're going to see where it's coming from. And you have the strength to go inwards and feel it and face it. But you have the King coming here with the High Priestess right behind it. So that's quite interesting. She's in reverse though. But this King is the masculine side of us. We have a masculine side and a feminine side. It doesn't matter what gender you are. We take on. We have possibility. We have it. These two sides of us that have different qualities. This is our ego self. And we already talked about how our ego self is keeping us up in our head. These wands here, keeping us up in our head. It's the King of Wands. and blocking or telling us that, don't bother going in this direction of getting in touch with your feelings. Don't bother figuring out, what your purpose is all about, because this is what a wand tells you. Don't bother going and dealing with this unworthiness and trying to feel it, because the ego self wants us to stay in our head, does not want us to go in our bodies and feel these emotions, because it's the most scared part. It's a very scared part. They're petrified of emotions, and they will do anything and everything to keep you up in your head so you don't go and feel your shame. And the last card that comes in here is, it's very interesting, because I need to go back for a minute before I get to it. But this wand, like I said, it talks about, it's important for you, because it talks about the wand, and the wand is all about, our creativity and authenticity and taking our life into a new direction. And so maybe there's something here where you're wanting to go into a new direction. You're wanting to put yourself first. You're wanting to make a change for yourself. But this ego self is coming in, and it's blocking this, and it's doesn't want you to feel this unworthiness, and that's what's blocking you from your unworthiness, is what's preventing you from moving forward. But this ego self is saying, you stay in your head. You're not feeling this. But you have the High Priestess come behind it. Here's a major arcana card, a major universal force. This High Priestess is the first half of the feminine energy in the major arcana in the tarot. And the second one, the second half of it is the next card, which is number 3, the Empress. And she's all about emotions. Well, this one, this other feminine quality that we have is inner guidance. But we only can access this inner guidance of ours, called our intuition, if we get back into our body. And that's how we're going to know what direction or how to get there. So you've got a few layers here, Sagittarius, that are going on here. You believe you're unworthy. There's this unworthiness that is blocking you from doing something for yourself right now, taking your life into new directions. This is general, but it's the next step for you that you want to take in your life. And you're feeling like you might be hearing things like, who the hell do you think you are? You don't deserve this. You can't do this. These are all messages here that this ego self is telling you in your head, keeping you up in your head. But the tarot here is saying, you know what? There's a real pull from the universe saying, you need to go inside. You need to get back in your body to find out what your intuition, what your inner guidance is saying, and where you need to go. Maybe you don't know where you need to go, but maybe you're getting this nudge, and this is saying you need to go inside, and you have the strength to do it. But there's a huge fear here of going in and healing this shame that needs to be healed right now. That fear is coming from your ego self, by the way, petrified of you going inwards to deal with this. So, fascinating. This first part was fascinating for you. What's in your shadow? Where's this all coming from? What's driving this unworthiness? What's driving this wand taking you in a different direction here? A couple things going on here. Well, you have the Death card, which is the release card here. It's in your shadow. And so it tells me that there was, when you were younger as an adolescent, there's the Death card speaks about things need to go from your life, needs to letting things go, letting people go. And so I'm wondering if when you were younger that something happened here where, I think when I see this card, sometimes it's a giving up. It's just a letting go, because that's how I see it. I may change my mind once I look at these, but it's like there was a part of you that gave up. that let go when you were younger. And, it could have been that maybe you were let go, you were abandoned. But we'll see what happens here. I think I'm going to, yeah. I think there was a part of you that gave up. And for whatever reason, when you were younger, and you might have been someone that, dealt with bouts of depression and might have had some anger here for sure. And the Empress card, here's the other second half. You have the first half is the High Priestess here. Now, in your shadow, very interesting. Here is your Empress card here. And she is the second half, the major arcana of the feminine energy. And she has everything to do with emotions. She lives from her body. She lives from emotions. Every single decision she makes, she feels all her emotion. But she's very much blocked right now, sitting in your shadow. So that tells me that you gave up when you were younger. You gave up on feeling your emotions. Somewhere along the line, I think you were taught maybe that emotions were dangerous. You weren't allowed to feel your emotions. And that can leave you when you are blocked like that. Maybe you were told, you tried to come out with your true, authentic self. And I say that because you have the Page of Swords here right at the end. And that's an inner child. We'll get to that in a minute. But it has a sword in its hand. When you were younger, you knew who you were. You knew who your authentic self was. And if you tried to express something when you were younger, well, you were shut down. You were shut down from feeling your emotions. If it was anger, if it was sadness or grief, and you were shut down probably way too many times, I can see. And so when that happens when we're younger, that can really bring about some anger to cover up. And so maybe you have anger now where you spill it out on the wrong people in the wrong times because it's ungrounded anger, because it's not healed. And maybe you have some real hopelessness now. And because when you were younger, you gave up. Because that's what happens when you're not allowed to express your emotions when you're younger. You give up. And right in the middle of your shadow, and I find this middle card really says a lot here, is the Chariot card, number 7. 7 is about introspection, going inwards. And the Chariot card is all about using your will, your control to make things happen. And this Chariot card is really a call not to use your will to make these two sphinxes move. It's a call to go inwards. It's a call to go inwards and make your decisions from, get in touch with your intuition. And we're seeing this High Priestess card, this intuition. But when you were younger, you were very, very intuitive already. When we're 4, 5, 6 years old, we're really, really intuitive already. But if you are shut down, if your emotions are shut down and you're not allowed to go inwards, you're not allowed to feel your emotions, you will continue to try to control your environment. And maybe you continue to control your environment. You could be someone that has controlling tendencies. I had that because I was shut down myself. I couldn't feel my true emotions. I couldn't show my true self. And so when you can't go inwards and feel your emotions, you will, as a child, lose sense of who you are and who your authentic self is, because you're not allowed to show that. And here's your Page of Swords in reverse. You have an inner child. My pages are inner child. We have more than one inner child. And I can say that from dealing with my own complex PTSD, that I've been doing that for the last 7 years intensively with a trauma coach. And I found out that I have more than one inner child. And this one knows their true self. They know who they are. This is their authentic self. You knew who you were. And this person that knows who they are is sitting right here in your shadow, but they're blocked. It's an inner child that needs healing. And I can imagine if it's an inner child that needs healing, I can imagine without even looking at what's here, and I don't remember what's there, but I can imagine there's a lot of grief here. Imagine you being shut down, a lot of anger, right? Because you're not allowed to feel your emotions. You're not allowed to be you and who you were meant to be. And so if you're shut down as a child, here's the unworthiness. You're not going to want to go in. You shut down as a child. You were told with this Chariot card, not allowed to go in and feel. And so, here this is you're shut down again. This is the strength to go inwards. You don't feel like you have that strength. Well, what do you think's happening? This needs healing, and it's coming up for you again. And so when you're being asked to deal with the shame, to go inwards, to, get in touch with your intuition, your King of Wands, your ego self is coming out and blocking that and going, no way, because you're bringing all this up from childhood and it doesn't want you to go there. That's how this works. In your how to begin to heal this, what's the advice here? Well, you get the Hangman. The tarot really wants to show you a different perspective. The tarot really wants, this is a universal card here, a universal energy, major arcana, wants to turn all of this upside down and wants you to see that there's another side to this. Wants to wake you up, wants to say, listen, you can do this. You have the inner strength. It wants you to see a different perspective here. Why? Well, what's here for you? This Ten of Swords is doing you in. This mental energy that you are using right now. These are swords. These are all your mental beliefs you have, all the things that people have told you about yourself to make you feel unworthy, that keeps you up in your head. It's mental thoughts and beliefs and spinning in your head and telling you all this stuff. Look what it's doing to you. I'm going to say you feel quite exhausted most days because it takes a hell of a lot of energy to continue to push down all of this stuff that you're trying to repress that's wanting to come up right now from your shadow to heal. And this is why it's in reverse here. Look what it's done to you. But there's a huge resistance on your part. You're still trying to push it down. And the universe wants you to look at, listen. You got to listen to this. There's a tower moment at the end of this. I just remembered now. There's a tower moment at the end of this. You have to listen. You have to see this in a different way. It wants you to see that these mental belief systems, these illusions that you have about yourself, they're not true. And look what they're doing to you. And look what's happening because you're trying to keep this all down. But you've got this Knight of Swords that's coming out next. And this Knight, look at the energy of this one. It's blocked, but let's look at this one. This is the freedom fighter, I call them. There's 4 of them. And these are our adolescent parts. They're the ones that want freedom. Freedom through authenticity. And you can't ask for it more. He has the freaking sword in his hand. There is a part of you, Sagittarius, that has this freedom that wants to be you, wants to be your authentic self, but there's so much here that's blocking this, your ego self, but you got to get in there and you got to heal that shame, that unworthiness that you feel about yourself, and all these belief systems that are doing you in. And this Knight of Swords is in reverse. And if he's in reverse, that means he's angry. And so, like I said, your anger might be coming out here because guess what's behind that anger? Anger is a secondary emotion. And you'll get angry and you'll spew it out on all these people. And when you see people get angry at other people and shooting people and just, in a day-to-day life, guess what's behind that? Is grief. They are blocking that grief that they need to get to. Ultimately, that is the emotion you need to get to, because that is the most healing emotion, but we block it. And you also could be feeling some real hopelessness with this night. Think of a teenager that's told no. Well, they're going to get angry or they're going to feel hopeless, and that's where depression and anger come in. And the last card here is like, you know what? You're hitting a tower moment here. You're exhausted. You're like, did you hear the expression in my voice here? Like, it's just, I'm feeling this energy in you that's just, you're bursting at the seams. I mean, there's just, you're using way too much energy to push this all down. And it's a big warning here. This is a tower moment for you that's coming up here. You need to feel the shame that your inner child needs to feel right now. So I'm definitely going to leave you a playlist on shame, and I'm going to leave you with the playlist on grounding, because you need to learn how to get back in your body, and you need to know how to ground your mind and then get into your body. And I'm going to show you how. I'll bring you in my backyard, show you how to do it. And then that's when you're going to start having these emotions come in. You see, people think that grounding is all zen. Well, no, we ground, we get back in our body so we can start to feel these emotions that we're repressing and we don't want them to come out. Wow. So let's pull an oracle card for you. That was a reading. You have these two, but this one came out first. So let's see what it is. Always a surprise. It's a beautiful one. It is. I think you need this one. This is for you. It's Squirrel Spirit. Believe in yourself. You have accumulated wisdom and experience and are surrounded by all you need. That's the Magician card. An abundance of resources is available to you through the generosity of spirit and all your hard work. Squirrel Spirit shows up when you need reminding that the acorns you have gathered and stowed away have enormous potential to grow. So relax into knowing there is always enough, and you have what it takes to co-create the reality you want to experience. The unpredictability of life can shake your confidence in yourself, and that's the Strength card in reverse. And your potential for handling the challenges that come your way. Does the thought of not having enough or being enough make you squirrely? Have you forgotten all your strengths, wisdom, and resources? You have come so far on your wits and creativity, making use of all your potential and all that spirit presents you to help you through life's trying times. It's time to look back on your life and remember how your needs have always been met for the highest good, even in your most challenging times. Life loves you, and so many treasures are hidden in plain sight, ready to be revealed, when you most need them. So relax. Squirrel Spirit wants you to know you are poised and ready for whatever is coming next. So trust in yourself and trust that Spirit has your back. Wow, that so was meant for you. What an amazing reading, Sagittarius. I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. This is the most difficult journey of your life, but it's the most important one. So I will talk to you in 2 weeks. Bye.